Today we are taking essential action. We'll deliver substantial tax relief to 136 million American taxpayers.
While I have chosen to freeze personal tax thresholds, some of the most generous in the world, I am not going to increase the rates of income tax, national insurance, or VAT.
My instinct would be to find ways of reducing tax on working families. But of course, in order to do that, we need to ensure we've got the strength of the economy.
Our plan is fuelled by keeping taxes low. It's fuelled by lower taxes. Now is the worst possible time that anyone could think of raising taxes if there's ever a good time to raise taxes.
On the 1st of December 1949, a boy was born in the city of Rio Negro in Colombia. The boy was born into poverty and he was the third of 7 children. His father was a farmer and his mother was a school teacher. Despite the odds, the now teenager went on to enroll at his local university to study a degree in political science. However, he had to leave his university studies without obtaining his degree due to financial issues as he was unable to pay his university fees. After dropping out of university, the young man made his mission to become a millionaire, and he was committed to do whatever it took to achieve such dream. The young man became a millionaire at the age of 22. It was reported that he funded various projects to help the poor and was seen as a Robin Hood-like figure for many in Colombia. Throughout his life, he accumulated such a fortune that when he died the day after his 44th birthday on the 2nd December 1993, it is estimated accounted for inflation to a figure that amounts to roughly $64 billion as of 2021. Some experts still believe that his fortune was much more. In case you still have not figured out who this man was, when he was born, his parents named him Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria, or simply known as Pablo Escobar, one of, if not the richest criminal in recorded history. Now, in case you are wondering what does the story of Pablo Escobar has to do with today's video, you see, in July 1992, Escobar escaped custody and went into hiding when officials attempted to transfer him from his own self-built prison to a less accommodating prison. The Colombia government, with the help of the US officials, launched a manhunt. This sort of mission needed to be funded by the government, which leads us to the question of the day. How does the government make money? If I was to ask you how does your government make money, there is a very high chance that your answer will be taxes. And here is the thing, you will be absolutely right. In your country of residence, there is a very high chance that about 2/3 of your government income comes directly from taxes. Bear in mind, there are different types of taxes and all taxes are not equal. Now, let's look at the various taxes that a government collects its revenue from. The more obvious ones are: number 1, income tax, which is the tax that the government imposes on your income. These include earned income such as wages, commissions, and from your investments. Number 2, national insurance or social security tax, which is designed to help to build a person's entitlement to certain state benefits such as state pension and maternity allowance, and depend on where you live, this tax may be different or non-existent. Number 3, corporate tax, which refers to the taxes paid by businesses on their net income or profits. Now, let's look at the least obvious taxes that a government imposes. Number 4, VAT or value added tax in Europe and America, GST or goods and services taxes in other places such as India and Australia. This tax is applied when goods and services are exchanged, for example, when you make a purchase or pay for a service. Number 5. Property taxes, which are also a source of revenue for the government both on individual and commercial level. And speaking of properties, other forms of taxes are applied on. Number 6. Assets, which include stamp duty, capital gain, inheritance tax, and the like. Even more or less obvious sources of revenue for the government are: Number 7. Sources such as rent from government-owned properties. And number 8. Tax on shopping and services for products such as alcohol. Similar to taxes implemented on alcohol, some taxes are implemented from your government to influence some of your behavior, such as introduce or increase taxes on certain items or products that you purchase or consume. This is often done when the government would like to tackle certain issues that the population is facing. And the most common, costly, and serious of such issue is obesity. For example, in the UK, an estimated 64% of the UK population is classified as obese or overweight. In America, on the other hand, about 69% of adult population is classified as obese or overweight. And globally, according to WHO, obesity has nearly tripled since 1975. So to tackle an issue of this kind, the government will implement certain taxes on certain products that do or may cause the population to be affected by it. And in the case of obesity, about 50 countries as of the time of recording have implemented a so-called sugar tax, which in simpler terms means that sugary items are more expensive to buy compared to healthier options. And the aim behind such tax is to discourage people from buying those sugary items in an attempt to lower the number of obesities within each country. How do you run a government? Number 1. On a budget surplus, which is when the taxes collected or generated by the government exceed the government expenses. Number 2. On a balanced budget, which is when the government is run in proportion to the amount of tax is able to collect or generate. Number 3. On a budget deficit, which is when the government is run in overdraft. What that essentially means is that the government spends more than it is able to collect or generate in tax. The overdraft, if we can call it that, happens when the government issues bonds, which in simpler terms means it borrows money from companies and people with very deep pockets, such as banks, the very wealthy, other countries, and pretty much anywhere it can borrow the amount it needs. Now let's look at the different tax systems that are available around the world. 1. Flat or proportional tax is when everyone pays the same percentage in tax. 2. Regressive tax refers to when the lower income earners pay the most in taxes, or in more simpler terms, the less you make, the more you pay in taxes. 3. Progressive tax. Most countries have adopted this tax system, which in simpler terms means the more you earn, the more tax you pay. Another less known tax system is the vertical equity, which is a concept that people in different income groups should pay different rates of taxes or different percentage of their income in taxes. Income tax can be considered as a means to redistribute from the rich to the poor. However, how that is done is within each government's decision to make. When it comes to taxes on businesses, the government often will lower corporate tax to encourage more business to be developed in hope of creating more jobs for the population, which will in theory lead to more tax generated by the government. In doing so, the working population absorb the burden that are being alleviated on the corporations. So if the corporate tax is lowered by the government to attract and encourage more businesses to do business, indirectly the government will need to raise the income tax on individuals to compensate the lower tax that the corporation will generate. How does the money get spent? Like any business requires cash flow to operate effectively, the government also requires taxes to be able to function as it should be, and these taxes collected are often used to satisfy the various needs of a country. Such needs include spending on education and training to improve the skill set of the working population, to supply public goods such as roads, bridges, hospitals, schools, benefit payment, which also include unemployment and disability benefit, to help when necessary industries that may need financial support to stay operative, to redistribute income and achieve more equity. With that, thank you for watching and for supporting the channel. If you like the video, considering liking the video as it does help the channel, and do share the video with other people so you can help educate them. Please do subscribe, and until next time, stay curious.